So, we got Backlash. We're on the precipice of Backlash here, and it's not WrestleMania Backlash. It is just Backlash in St. Louis. It's St. Louis Backlash here, okay? So what are your guys' feelings? Do you think the build to this Backlash has been done well? There's some people of course, we're talking IWC banter and Reddit banter and wherever you go online to look at all the mentally ill people who enjoy wrestling. The people who are mentally iller than the casuals who are already mentally ill and enjoy pro wrestling, because we're all sickos to some degree, right? We love this weird circus act that is pro wrestling, right? So we're all wackos to some degree. But the build up here, the IWC, a lot of people are saying like the build to this has been better than Mania. And then you have another section like, man, they released all these people, but Pat McAfee's wrestling Gunther. What the Pat McAfee's wrestling Gunther? Like people just Becky Hogan and all this, which Becky is doing a little bit of, this is what's going to work for me, sister. You can tell, but how many more years of Becky Lynch do we have left, With that in mind, just the build up to Backlash, I want both of your thoughts. Like, has it been good? Is the IWC correct? Why are they so outraged? Just your overall thoughts.
I think there's three matches you look at when you see this poster, and you know right away which three I'm talking about that have had the proper build up, and the other two sort of feel like building new champion matches, because that's exactly what they are. Two of them are to establish new champions. The other three are to entertain you and to build. It just is. People want to on Pat McAfee. I don't know why. The dude can cut a promo. He's actually been trained as a pro. He can wrestle. Gunther, I feel like, is an all-time heel. I don't think Gunther gets enough credit for what he does. You're not supposed to like what he says. You're supposed to want to see him get beat. I think he's highly entertaining, and I think too many people want to on him because he's a throwback heel, and he's not trying to be cool like Seth Rollins with the entrance. He's trying to be the heel that you want to boo the shit out of. Becky Lynch right now is doing the best work of her career, in my opinion, on the microphone. She hasn't been this relevant in years. Everything she's doing in the ring, I'm drawn to. 2 promos in a row now, I've been riveted. I want to hear everything she said. And then you have Randy Orton and Cena. This is what every old school fan from the mid-2000s, early 2000s wanted to see. These are the 2 top guys from their generation going to get one final bow in the ring. I don't know how this is going to go. Both of them have limitations, but the build has been great, in my opinion. The other 2 matches are building your new U.S. champion and your new IC champion. Give them a moment, let them cheat, let them pull some out of the hat, and then they win, and they walk out retained. That's my opinion. The only title I think you say change hands is going to be Becky Lynch.
Well, I'm looking at the screen right now, and I see, 2 SmackDown matches. That's it. I see that 4-way for the U.S. title. I see Cena Orton and the rest are Raw matches. I think there's going to be a few more matches out of this, maybe 2, come SmackDown Friday. Last-minute additions. It doesn't make any difference to the Backlash card. People are going to buy this anyway. People are going to watch this on Peacock. If you had the Roadrunner versus the Coyote on this show, people tune in and watch a cartoon of that.
I might just do that. We're partners with WBD, We have the whole Looney Tunes here, right here backstage.
Oh, that's Warner Brothers. Oh, that's AEW.
But here's my question, Bottles. This has been Triple H's motive, right? This has been his MO. He gives you about 5 matches on the non-major pay-per-views or PLEs, and that's what he gives you. These are your 5 matches. If he adds them, I don't think they'll be part of the card you watch.
Could there be a debut? Could there be a debut of a new talent on this show?
Yes. I got a prediction.
Like who? Go ahead. Let me hear you.
What do you got, Phil?
Here's the thing, man. You got Jeff Cobb laying in the works here. I've been saying, Jeff Cobb could join this faction. Like, how else do you smash that guy over?
Phil, Jeff Cobb says he's retired on
he's
Twitter.
Retired, Phil.
He's retired, Phil. He was at the beach. I can't do that. I can't do Sonny from Cocoa Puffs voice.
To me, you have Malachi, you have Rusev, who just debuted as like singles. Oh, we're singles guys, and we're gonna beat everybody up. If you're gonna bring Jeff Cobb in and smash him over, why not bring him in and let Paul Heyman just get him over to everybody? That would be my prediction. But they're not on this card, right? Is the problem?
What if that's the third man? What if that's the third man for that faction?
Yeah, that's what I've been saying, dude.
That's the rumor,
Yeah, and you let Heyman just smash Cobb over that way. Or he just shows up and he's like John Cena's heater out of nowhere. And he's like, yeah, here's this new guy I got who I'm not going to be here, but my guy Cobb, like my hitman or whatever, however he fucking phrases it, he's gonna make sure, like, take care of business while I'm not here or whatever. And Cena could bring him in.
Is Cobb Samoan?
No, he's, I think, Filipino.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I believe. I'm sorry. I know he represented like Guam in the, I think, the Worlds or something, like maybe the Olympics or something. I can't remember, but either way, I think you could smash Cobb over like immediately because he's 42. They're not bringing him in to put him on NXT.
Right.
Yeah. They've got to put him over right away. You can't wait with this guy. It's got to be all or nothing right out the gate.
Yeah. His last run probably in a major company.
Kind of like Batista was.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Bronson Reed's ready for a comeback at all, but maybe he shows up and helps Jacob Fatu or something. But Jacob doesn't need help, though. I don't want to start seeing him have a bunch of Samoan guys run out for him all the time either. It seems to be they're making the story like when they do that, it just furthers the beef between him and Solo. Like he wants people to stay out of his way as opposed to run in and help him. However, we can go through, match by match here and just sort of make predictions.
Let me ask you, what did you think of the build for this PLE?
Dude,
what did you think?
Throwing it back at me, I thought it was really good. I love the McAfee Gunther stuff. I think it's great. McAfee can go. Now, if he takes Gunther to the absolute limit, like when he comes and takes Adam Cole to the limit at NXT, you're like, okay, that kind of you're like two Adam Coles, so that makes sense. When it's Gunther, I really want to see Gunther beat the shit out of McAfee. I hope they bloody him up, chop him down, just really beat him like a dog, and then you write McAfee off TV for a while.
he might be going away because he needs some time off because that guy's been going really hard since August. So that might be what we're headed to as far as giving him some time off. But we'll see about that. But you keep going because I do want to talk about
that Gunther, and I'm not going to make a pick yet, but Gunther, that will really put a shit ton more heat on him. And it's just what you said before, right? I'm just sort of regurgitating that. Like he is just a pure old school heel and he just wants to be booed.
I think that you're going to see a flurry of offense by Gunther. Then you're going to see Pat McAfee have some hope spots and do a little sequence where he'll run roughshod over Gunther. And then Gunther will take back over and beat the dog snot out of Pat McAfee. Probably choke him out and there'll be blood involved. And you won't see McAfee for a while.
I got a different take. I'll save it for when we make our picks. But this is why you're making me laugh about Gunther, because this is what makes a great classic heel, is that they lie. They go back on everything they say. Yeah. They say they're a mat technician. They'll use a chair. They'll use the belt. They'll be dirty pieces of shit to make you mad and be like, that guy's a liar.
Yeah, yes, you're right. Yeah, exactly it's right. True.
That's why you're so mad.
Dirty pieces of shit.
Yeah, and he's a guy you love to boo, man. Like I love him so much, but like fuck this guy, man. And that's why I don't know. He lended so much to Jay. Him and Jay was such a good both ends of the spectrum of like a purist, a heel, the heel of all heels, and then you have the most over. Sponsor mania, if you will. People are like, oh, Yeeta mania, it's just corporate bullshit. You have both ends, and it just lends more to Jey Uso, and it was so good. Like, I really enjoyed that whole Yeeta mania. I know a lot of people were mad at that, but Gunther losing was the absolute right call. He has like 3 losses. He has like 2 losses or something in WWE, right?
And, 3 losses. I can't wait to talk about the outcome of this match because I think I'm going to blow your mind.
Let's go through this card. So we got Dominic Mysterio defending his Intercontinental title. Believe that, against Penta, El Cero Miedo, Pentagon Jr. No, just Penta. And I wonder who owns the rights to that. Is it CMLL or AAA that own the rights to Pentagon Jr.? Because I wonder if they'll just, so they'll just keep him Penta, or do you think they switch his name to Pentagon? They'll probably just keep him Penta.
Keep a Penta right now.
Yeah, it makes way more sense. Anyways, that's Fantasy Mark bullshit. It's Tony Khan. That's what I worry about. Don't worry. Leave it to me. So, my pick right here, Dominic Mysterio, Penta. I think we're just going to get Dominic retaining. I mean, I think he's moving merch. The fans want to love him. Why would you beat him right now? He's having a blast as the IC champ. I'm going Dominic Mysterio retains. And, that's my pick.
I get a lot of Eddie Guerrero lie, cheat, and steal vibe right now coming off of Dominic. I feel like that's where they're headed with this.
Yeah.
He is the heel that has been such a dirtbag for long enough that it's become a lovable part of his character. I think he cheats in this match somehow. I don't know if Jughead involves himself. I don't know who does it, but this is when you start building Dominic for a mainstay on the roster. I know a lot of people don't see it, but you cannot deny the guy's got charisma on the microphone right now. He's entertaining as hell. He can wrestle, and I think Penta is being pushed to the moon already. I'm going to enjoy this, but I think Dominic retains.
Did you see that match Monday night where he slowed everything down? Penta did.
I did.
He did not do that breakneck AEW style of wrestling. He slowed it down. He sold a little bit. He, I used to be annoyed by his bullshit at AEW, but he's really turned me over. Not turned me over. Poor choice of words. He's really, turned me around.
What?
What the what? Yeah, he just he's turned my opinion of him around, where I think that he's not bad. And I would wager that the Judgment Day faction gets involved in this match, and Ray Phoenix comes in.
I can't wait till that happens. Y'all remember when the Dudley Boys were split up, and then like Spike and Bubba teamed up with Jeff Hardy against 3 Minute Warning and Rico, and they had that match. I think it was at like a Survivor Series or whatever. And then it seemed like everyone was eliminated, and it was just Bubba left. And then Devon comes running down the ramp, and the crowd goes insane. And then the Dudley Boys reunite. I don't know if you guys remember that.
I remember that. Yeah.
Dude, that shit popped me so hard. I remember as a kid, that shit popped me hard as fuck. And I think we'll get that moment where, just out of nowhere, Ray Phoenix, maybe his music hits. Probably it's WWE in 2025, so the music has to hit. But the music will hit, and then he'll come down, and then they'll hug each other, and then just without explanation, Phoenix will be on Raw or some shit, and then we'll get that.
Probably, but I don't know if you pull that trigger this early.
No, me neither. That's what I was gonna. That's the point I was trying to make. Sorry, you got to milk it for a while before we get there, though. It's like the Dudleys. You had to split them up to get that moment again. Brothers reunited.
You know what? Maybe you save it for Royal Rumble. Maybe you keep pushing them as singles until the Rumble, and that moment in history repeats itself.
Yeah, and because listen. It's a hot lucha summer. I'm telling you, they got the Worlds Collide show. Phoenix and Penta, their masks, Rey Mysterio, they're all being featured like in the graphics for this AAA stuff. I think they pull the trigger on it sooner than we think. And it might be where Penta's on Raw and Ray Phoenix is on SmackDown. However, they fucking team up for one night only, or like they teamed up for the AAA tag tournament or whatever the fuck they do, NXT, whatever they do. I could totally see them just teaming up for that or having a moment. But if we're thinking long term here, I agree. They should just save it, Royal Rumble or one of these big events, and you just have a reunion where they fucking hug, crowd erupts, they start doing all their tag team flippy spots. Everyone's like, holy shit, that's what I hope for. But ultimately, it's good that we're looking forward to shit with Penta down the line, especially as AEW fans, because they ran with them as the tag titles, but they didn't fully capitalize on what the Lucha Bros could have been as singles and as a tag team, I feel like, in AEW.
Well, they didn't rein it in. It was do as much shit as you can every Wednesday night until the crowd is exhausted, so it never matters again in the history of ever. He won with the Mexican Destroyer on Monday night. That's a freaking spot on AEW.
And they built to
That's how it should. Yes.
Yeah, they built to the Destroyer with the hurt leg and shit, and they built to it, and then when it landed, it mattered, and then he didn't just jump to cover him. He took his time, and covered him. And Penta gets it. I really think he was just phoning it in his last little, because he was just getting phone calls randomly, like, hey, will you come to work? Okay, and then he just, will you do? And then Orange Cassidy's like, Orange Cassidy's like, hey, bro, can we do like 6 Canadian Destroyers back to back? And he's like, if it means I'll be on fucking TV this week, So Penta's just phoning it in. They belong in WWE. So I'm going with Dirty Dom, though. So you guys all have Dirty Dom. We're all in agreement on that, right? Okay. So up next, we were talking about it a bunch, Gunther McAfee. I think Gunther gets the W. Johnny, let's start with you, because I want to hear Don's mind-blowing pick here, or fantasy mark booking, if you will. So Johnny, what do you got to say about McAfee versus Gunther?
I think that Gunther will take control early. I think McAfee will have a flurry of offense, and then it's going to be announce tables being smashed, posted in the rail, thrown into the steps, the usual BS. Then Gunther will pitch him into the ring and have his way with him, beat him down and choke him out. He's going to choke him out. He said that.
Well, yeah.
Are you laughing at have his way with him? Are you laughing at that? He's
I just love it.
He's going to have his way with him.
Get in the limo, pal.
Get in the limo, pal. I'm going to have my way with you. I'm going to choke you out. Choke this.
Actually, it was my plane. I mean, I didn't mean that. You want a kitten? Take a kitten or you're fine.
Get over here. I got a shit.
Yeah.
Ooh, here we go. He's going to choke out McAfee. They're going to stretcher him out. You won't see him for a while. Not that he's got anywhere to go, but you won't see him for a while.
Does he bloody him like
Yes.
he bloodied Jimmy Uso?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. They need
Don,
that for this. They need that for this match.
We're going to give you an X-Files here. What's your mind-blowing...
Pat McAfee gets the total shit kicked out of him throughout this entire match. He gets bloodied, he gets beaten, and he wins. And Gunther has now lost 2 matches in a row.
There's no way.
It's time to fall, and it's time to rebuild Gunther, and he's going to lose because of some outside bullshit that's going to get involved. I don't know if it's going to be Adam Cole. I don't know if this is when you get
Adam Cole.
The other guy. Sorry, not Adam Cole, but
Adam Cole.
Look, pal.
Hold on. I'll send the cease and desist. You can't do that. I own that character. I own Undisputed Era, but I can't.
It's the greatest night in the history of our sport.
Well, if Adam Cole's on Dynamite, but he's also on Backlash, it's like Time Cop, because he would be in AEW and WWE at the same time on different nights.
Open that forbidden door, Tony.
Michael Cole, excuse me. I don't know who causes it, but I just feel like Pat McAfee gets the win. He gets the shit beat out of him, and Gunther's on that trajectory of now he's losing and he can't get out of his own way. That's just how I see it. I feel like they're going somewhere with Gunther's storyline, and this is just part 2 of it.
You brought up Michael Cole, and I'm going to say, what if McAfee doesn't tap out to the choke, and Michael Cole says, stop the match, stop the damn match, and Michael Cole throws the towel in for McAfee.
I gotta feel like he's getting involved somehow.
He's got to be
chair
getting
shot
involved.
or whatever. I feel like Pat wins because of him. I really do.
You think the
Damn,
announcer
that could be
is going to
crazy.
beat the wrestling Nazi? I don't think.
I don't know if the commentary is going to be. I do like Michael Cole throwing the towel in though for Pat, but he doesn't tap. He passes out. I do like that if Pat sneaks out the win. And then, I do like that as well, because it's like, listen, then Ludwig can really start questioning Gunther, because that split's going to happen too. They're going to push Ludwig on his own, right? And they're kind of leaning towards that. Like, they're not always together. And Ludwig's like, you lost to commentary. Then Gunther's like, what did you say to me? And then they're like both like, I was scooted, Munich Circus, I'm
a bigger German than you are, Scheißkopf.
the Volkswagen,
Du scheiße deine Hosen.
Yeah, they're just like, and then, yeah, dude, I could totally see that. And then one of them's like, get to the chopper. And then they're all just, and then, yeah, I could totally see that happening as well. So either way, and this is the beauty of WWE as of late, even this last Mania too, because everyone was all bummy and piss panties about it. I enjoyed it as well. Like, there's shit I could dissect all day. Overall, I enjoyed Mania. I always do, because it is like a spectacle, even if it doesn't live up. It's like not every Super Bowl lives up, but I'm not just like, fuck the Super Bowl or whatever. So to me, I just feel like all of these matches at WrestleMania and now this Backlash, a lot of them I could really see it going either way, and that's like the beauty of pro wrestling as well. I think some of them are obviously like Dirty Dom. They're not going to pull the title off them. You got to be real about that. So, and maybe there's some predictability, but I could see it going either way with Gunther or McAfee. On the live show Saturdays is when I lock in my final picks, and we do picks against Phil. So, yeah, I'll lock mine in for sure, because now I got to really think over what I'm locking in. As of now, though, my early prediction, I'm going to go just with my gut and say Gunther's going to pull it off. Lyra versus Becky. Now, people are calling Lyra Bird Lady. She's really starting to win people over, like this past Raw with her. I mean, she's great in ring. Her promos are are living up. Like, I don't know if her and Becky were like, trust me, we just got to do promos a couple weeks and in a row and like really build this thing up and get heat on it and show people what Lyra can do. She's starting to win people over. To me, I compared her to like Seth Rollins early on, or like Kenny Omega. It's like, okay, you're like a you're like a really good wrestler who loves wrestling. You know, what now? Like, what else is there to you? You know, to me, Lyra just has felt really forced over, but you know, she's starting to win me over. I think a lot of people are agreeing on that. I think she defends her title here. No, here's my only problem is that Becky put her over in NXT. Becky won the NXT title, put Lyra over. So in this, is it the same thing? Does she put Lyra over first and then that's it? Or does she win this belt, reign with it a bit, then put Lyra over where it means a little bit more? I think that's where we're going, because if Becky wins, then Bayley comes back, she could defend it, and then she could lose it again to Lyra or something like that on a bigger stage. You know what I mean? Backlash is a transitional period sometimes, right? Where it's like SummerSlam is where you pull the trigger on that big move where like, here's Lyra capturing the gold from Becky and here's da-da-da-da, you know, and she had the moment with Becky at Mania already. So a lot of people just watch Raw and SmackDown. They're like, what the fuck is it with Bird Lady? And it's like, well, give her a shot. You know, she is good. I mean, I've been critical of her too, but this last week, if it's indicative of what's to come from her, then okay. Like, she can carry the stick and she can and she can wrestle a good match, you know? But yeah, my pick is Lyra. I think or not Lyra, pardon me, Becky. And then we get Lyra at the big stage at like SummerSlam or whatever. That's my pick as of right now. What say you?
I would say that she's doing the work of her career right now in the ring and on the microphone. She's never been a big talker, like you said. They've been working on promos probably for her. The Bayley component is going to come into play in this match. I think Bayley's going to interfere, and it's going to be a no contest. She's going to beat down Becky.
Damn.
That's what I think.
So it's like a double heel? It's like a baby face thing? Like what?
Bayley's going to beat down Becky because Becky beat her down.
Right.
Say Becky beat down Bayley. Say that.
But do they boo Bayley for that? Because people are like kind of cheering Becky. I guess on Raw they really did kind of like she was getting them to boo. So maybe
she was an uber baby face before she left to have a kid and raise the kid and all that. So she was an uber baby face.
On Raw they cheered her
on Raw.
They
did.
Yeah, so it's like I don't fucking know, man.
These are your casual fans.
Yeah.
Your casual fans are cheering.
Yeah.
So once all that dies, she's got to be really heinous to Lyra Valkyria in the ring. And then Bayley runs in and interferes. And you're going to have a 3-way at Money in the Bank. I think that's the next PLE. A 3-way for the Intercontinental Championship.
That's good
That's
shit,
what I'm
pal.
predicting. Book it, pal.
I think it's too early to bring back Bayley. I think you save that. I think Becky Lynch wins. Again, she's a shitty heel. I believe Phil's onto something. I think you're going to see their big showdown at SummerSlam where they crown her a singles champion. She won the tournament. I get that. It wasn't a big deal. She didn't get crowned on a major PLE. She is a star in the making. Bottles told me to watch her on NXT, so I started watching her. And she didn't cut a lot of promos, but she could really wrestle. Her promos have not only come a long way, they've come leaps and bounds. I'm super impressed with her. I see why they're big on her. I can't wait to watch her future. I think Becky is here I don't think Becky's here for a long run. I think Becky goes away when school starts back up, to be quite frank. I think Becky's very happy being a mother, and she's going to go back into mom role when it's all said and done, come after SummerSlam. Where that sets up Bayley coming back, I'm not quite sure yet. I think Bayley's earned some time off. She's been going hard for the last couple of years, so I think that's where she's at right now. So I think that's where it's going. I think Becky wins. They build that SummerSlam, and we go from there.
I think as a rebuttal to what you just said, I think Bayley got robbed of her WrestleMania moment, so they've got to put her on a PLE, and I think this will be her big moment on a PLE to interfere in this match and beat down Becky.
It's such a good thing that there's this debate. The triple threat, the same way they did at Mania with Rhea, Bianca, and Io, they could be like, maybe a triple threat, Bayley, Becky, and Lyra at SummerSlam is the money too. Like, now you got me thinking. I love it. I love it so much. You know, that's a good thing that WWE has this problem where we're able to be like, I don't know, man. I really think this could work. And I'm listening to both outcomes here, and I'm like, dude, those both work. Like, I'd be pleased with either of those. And I think that's where, and again, not to make anything about AEW. Oh, me again. not to make it about that, but like that's where AEW lost everyone, is that there's no good faith. Moxley has to lose or fuck this, that's like an overall sentiment even among their fans, right? And then even they get boo-boo face about it. Whereas in WWE, it's like, damn, I could see it go either way and I'm cool. I'm going to sit back and enjoy the ride for the most part, And
I got to ask you something, Phil. Do you have a pet nickname that you call the Moxley group?
Dude, I've had so many. So at first they were the.
Do you have one you
clan.
Go to? Okay, Bumbleclot.
Yeah, the White Pool Neo Moxley clan is what I call them mostly.
Yep,
now.
I've heard Neo Moxley.
Yeah, so I say the White Pool Neo Moxley clan. But before they were doing that, I called them the Bumbleclot Club when they were just like the Blackpool Combat Club, But
right.
Yeah, some people call them the Boar Horsemen. I think that's them, right?
I've seen that one. Yes,
yeah,
we call them the Cracker Clan.
The Cracker Clan, that's another one. Yeah. So, but
either way,
the absolute worst faction in wrestling today.
Killing that show.
Did you guys see the picture of Marina Shafir and Shayna Baszler side by side?
Yes, I did. That's going around everywhere.
She'll go there.
Yeah, Shayna will at least do the Ronda Rousey thing and go do like some Ring of Honor matches. It might not be like Shayna Baszler's All Elite, but it'll be Shayna Baszler has a match in AEW. I'm telling, it might not be that, but it'll be like she has some matches in AEW. She has some Ring of Honor matches.
Oh God, we signed her.
Yeah, she'll probably wrestle in Hog and Bloodsport. She'll just do the indies and shit. I think show up everywhere.
Shayna Baszler, all you can eat.
So
she'll take on Nyla Rose at her first match.
So are we split down the line? So are we 2 for Becky, 1 for Lyra here?
Sounds like it, yeah.
Yeah,
like
okay.
It, yeah. So I said the match would be a DQ because Bayley's going to interfere.
So nobody.
But that still gives Lyra the win.
Yeah, well, it gives her. Yeah, it gives her the belt.
Yeah.
She retains.
Yes.
Wait, if
Becky
Bayley
would win by DQ,
Becky would win, but Lyra retains.
I'm saying the title's changing hands. That's what I'm saying. The title changes hands.
Fair enough. We'll just do a screw job. Well, fuck it. We'll just do a screw job. We'll put Ken Shamrock in there and tell him take it from him.
Well,
thank you. Fuck you. Bye. Boom.
In comes Harley Race. I told that bitch to stay in the ring.
Yeah. So we have the Fatal 4-Way.
No, there will not be any DQs.
Oh, sorry.
This will be this is a clusterfuck of a match coming.
Yeah, there will be.
I don't have a clue. Yeah. Just
barricades flying. Perhaps prosthetic legs get involved if what happened on SmackDown happens. Who knows? Jacob Fatu might bite someone's nose off for all we know. The man is so unpredictable in there. And it's Jacob, Priest, McIntyre, LA Knight. Yeah. And I love the heavyweight level, like heavyweight title level guys now being involved in the United States title picture. This feels way better than like LA Knight fighting Santos Escobar and Andrade and shit. No offense to those guys. But I think Jacob Fatu walks away with the win after like a bunch of crazy shit happens, and maybe a Bronson Reed return could be in there. Like, I don't know. I'm not trying to stuff in all the returns, but maybe there's a Jeff Cobb, Bronson Reed, Bailey return. Like, we've listed some returns. I think maybe one of those will happen throughout the show at Backlash,
Well, Solo will be on the outside of the ring, of course.
Right. So, like, does he go, oh, look, and then Jacob's like, get out of here, I don't want you. And then Solo, like, goes away, and then Bronson Reed tsunami someone, and then Jacob's like, what the fuck, man? But still takes the win. I feel like we're getting that separation soon, too, where there's going to be Solo versus Jacob, and does Jacob ride Solo, or does he bring a couple of these Tongan Samoan dudes with him as well? Like his uncle teamed with Haku. Haku's kids are with Solo. Maybe the Tongans leave Solo and go with Jacob, or however the fuck they split the floodline. I call them the faux bloodlines, right? However they split those up. But either way, we might not even get any of that story. It might just be like a dynamic between Solo and Jacob, but they're going to build to like Jacob being like, Solo, get the fuck out of here, or however, nah, Oos, I can do this on my own. You know what I mean? That's what they've been doing, and we're eventually getting that match. We thought it would happen at Mania, but instead, I like that they just crowned Jacob the U.S. champion. I think we just get more of his title reign here, and him taking out these 4 guys. He can take them out in a 4-way, and then he can take them on individually down the line as well. Mm-hmm. And then I think him and Solo at maybe like SummerSlam, Money in the Bank, something like that. But yeah, I'm going with Jacob all day. What do you guys think?
Let me talk to you.
Yeah.
I think you're onto something with Solo, but I think Solo is going to inadvertently get Jacob, hit to where he almost loses, but he retains. And that's sort of what starts the fireworks between them. I feel like Solo is going to interfere and almost cost Jacob the match, but Jacob retains. I don't see how you take it off of him right now. The guy's white hot. You can't get the belt off of him. I feel horribly right now for Drew McIntyre and LA Knight because those guys are super over. They are over the moon right now. Drew McIntyre the past year and a half has absolutely killed not only social media, but his in-ring work. He's been on fire. I can sort of take, I don't know, man. I'm not going to leave it alone. LA Knight I like a lot. He's always over. But Damian Priest, man, it's just ever since he got crowned, something's not right, and it doesn't feel good, and I'm not sure what it is, but he sort of feels like the next guy that's going to get jobbed out over his next year unless he can figure out how to turn this thing around.
Well, they fired his girlfriend, so.
Yeah.
Caden Carter.
I called them Casey, too. I was like, damn, they should be your white meat babyface tag team of the women's fucking tag division.
Yeah,
the fight from underneath baby faces who do the cool moves that everyone pops for. They fire them both. I'm like, okay, so fuck me, right? Like they might as well just abolish these titles. Anyways, I'm not going to harp on that again, but yeah, I'm familiar. I didn't know she was. See, I'm legit. I'm not outraged by the releases, but I'm like, what the fuck,
What if Rusev does the run-in? Well,
he's a Raw talent.
You've been diddling my CJ Perry on the side, you piece of shit.
Oh, yeah. Fuck you. You let some weird shit happen to her finger. No.
You diddled my wife.
You son of a bitch.
You got to think Malachi Black gets in this picture eventually, too, no?
I think Malachi Black will go gunning for Jacob Fatu after he pins Damian Priest Saturday to win this match.
I think that's Damian Priest's replacement. That guy Triple H has always been high on. I'm not high on him myself. When they said they're bringing him back, the first thing I said was, why?
So for the last time ever in the main event, John Cena, Randy Orton, the shoes on the other foot, because every time they faced off, I believe, other than we actually watched on the show highlights from the match where they wrestled each other for the first time ever as indie talent before either of them were in OVW at the Brian Pillman Memorial show. And there was like 2,000 people filing in. They opened the show, I believe. It was Orton versus Cena. That was the first time they wrestled. And they had great chemistry even back then, for real. It's crazy. And just to see how they were really like mat wrestling each other and doing like athletic young guy shit, the fucking kip ups and the cartwheels and the, but it was very much like technically based. And it was right before they both went to OVW. And then on Raw and SmackDown, they've been playing us like highlights of all these meetups between them. Now, there was a point in time as a wrestling fan where, and this is where a lot of people lulled out during this time, where Cena and Orton were linking up on a PLE and you were like, fuck, man, again? We gotta see again, dude. But now we look back on it and it's like, God damn, how good we had it, right? And that's why I just really enjoyed the Roman Reigns reign, because it's like, bro, those are the shits you look back on, like you're lucky to even be alive while that happened, you're gonna look back on that so fondly. And I know like people are supposed to get heel heat and that's part of the show and everything, but as far as Roman's reign, like I just enjoyed, dude, I got to see the Hulk Hogan run. Like I was born in 91, so like I came just after like the 80s craze and all of that. So so to see somebody like Roman, in the business turn around and have this second boom, the Attitude Era was, I was watching that and stuff. Obviously, it was huge. And then we haven't had that again. I lulled out a bit too, where I wasn't fully locked in that like 2013 era where it's like 2015 and Cena and Orton have headlined like however many 20 PLEs together at that point or whatever. So there's a point in time this match was like, fuck, man. They're showing the highlights though. You're reliving it. You're like, dude, if you could only go back, when we were young. And then now we're getting this last match ever where Cena's the heel, Orton's the babyface. This is 100% the last time we will ever get this match. It's in St. Louis. The crowd's going to be white hot. I mean, I think there's only like 16,000 tickets or something sold, not knocking it or anything. But you'd figure it would be like a fucking to the roof sellout. Yeah, I think the building holds like 20, 21,000 or 22,000 or something like that. But to me, this is a match where I know people have been bitching and complaining. Again, I'm taking the long route to get to this point. People have been bitching and complaining. It's been a theme of this show. We've been talking about, oh, how's the buildup been and WrestleMania. Just enjoy. We're never going to see John Cena hit Cody Rhodes in the balls and cheat to win the fucking WWE title. That's never going to happen again. We're never going to see Cena versus Orton again ever. And this build has been great. Like, I don't know. It's been short. It's been sweet. It's just like, hey, let me do an RKO. Let's cut promos and I'll just hit you with an RKO. Every week during the Cody Rhodes feud and during these couple of Orton fucking interactions, Cena's been left laying as well as the heel. You know what I mean? Like, we were talking about Gunther being an old school heel. Well, every single time we see Cena, he's just like eating the fucking mat with an RKO or a crossroads or whatever. And ultimately why? It's because he's going to fucking leave with that title and he's going to reign with this thing for a while during his last ever run. And I love that he has the clock ticking down. Like, here's my appearances.
26.
Yeah. And
26.
I love that he's still shilling the Fruity Pebble merch, but just to see where we started. And then you think back to where this is a match where it's like, fuck, not again. But now this is something where I'm like, this match is worth the whole thing alone. Like, if these were still pay-per-views, this was worth the buy alone right here, in my opinion. It's because neither of these guys are entirely washed either. And I know it's the John Cena farewell tour. We'll be lucky if we get 2 more Randy Orton WrestleManias. I'm not joking. Like, how many are we going to get? 5, 10?
No, you're probably going to get one more, maybe.
Yeah, like 1 or 2, man.
It's 1 or 2 at most. His back is going. You can see it when he moves. He can still do enough. But you can tell when I can't imagine how he feels when his body cools down after a match, how stiff it is for him to move that back in the morning after he's hit that mat 5 or 10 times. And you've noticed he's not hitting that mat nearly as much as he used to. That shit's not happening, pal. He's got 3 bumps and you better get him in because he ain't doing no more than that. Because he can't take it anymore.
Is he Adam Copeland stiff, pal?
No, he is not that. He is not Viagra yet, but that's another story.
Actually, it's New Chew. If you go to savewithconrad.com and you get yourself a New Chew or a Flu Chew.
Jesus.
You don't know the actual name till they give me a fucking check, Eric. Oh, come on. That's not very fair, Phil, to not say the name for the bit until you get a check yourself. I'm here for it. Chat me up. Chat me up about WCW and the NWO. So
why does he rock back and forth like a mental patient?
I have yet to figure that out. That's so weird. I never noticed it until recently when you said
he's just rocking. He never used to do that. He's rocking back and forth like hemorrhoids. What's going on? I don't understand.
It's from drinking sodas, I think, man. Sugar. Anyways, though, all of that to say this. John Cena's walking out with the title and just fucking enjoy this. This isn't going to be a technical masterpiece. There's not going to be a tope con hilo or whatever the fuck. There's going to be none of that. It's going to be 2 guys they're going to do Hulk Hogan versus Hulk Hogan. It's like
Hogan versus
they're just
Orndorff.
Going to do as little as possible, and you're going to fucking enjoy it, and not because it's sponsor mania slop, corporate TKO bullshit, but because these are 2 of the best to ever do it, and this is the last time we're ever going to see them do it together. Pause. So John Cena's retaining, obviously. But we're going to not complain about that. We're going to enjoy it. And whatever the outcome is, I would love to see Jeff Cobb show up and John Cena go, here's my new heater while I'm not here. Talk to this guy. You got something to say to me?
You're big on the Jeff Cobb coming. You're big
just because, well, what are they going to do with him? You got to smash him over immediately. You got to be like, this guy's a fucking devastator. He's got 3 years left in his career. You know, like you got to fucking, he's a devastator. He's a destroyer. Why else is he here? Oh, he's just
you know what he might
random new guy on SmackDown. Like, fuck all that. He's got to be something important right away, and because he can portray that. He can do that tour of the islands move. We know Triple H is also big on the Lucha Underground guys, and Jeff Cobb was a Lucha Underground guy. So
I think you had it earlier. I feel like he's coming in to be the 3rd guy in that stable. He's an innovator. He's a revolutionary. He's all those things. That's what I think. But I agree with you on this. Cena is going to retain. He's going to keep the title. As long as Cena does not have Travis Scott run into this goddamn match, I'll be okay with it. That's all I ask for. Just have an old school match. You ain't got to do 400 moves. Just Cena, do me a favor. Don't call every match move for move. Please. Bottles, we hear you. You're saying Fiend. I get it.
Is the bloodline dead? Both bloodlines?
No.
Is that just
It's
gone
not
now?
dead. It's just sort of sitting on the sideline.
It's just comatose right now.
Yeah, it's just
it's one of those things that can get revitalized at any given moment with the right storyline. It's not totally dead, but it's just sort of sitting there. And the reason I say this is because I believe you will see Jacob Fatu reinvigorate and reignite the bloodline at WrestleMania next year. He will be the new guy in charge.
Both of those guys, the Haku's sons, are both out hurt now. Tama Tonga's out hurt.
I think that, Jacob, if I'm WWE, Roman doesn't have many Manias left either. Mm-mm. So if I'm WWE, I mean, Solo should go over him one-on-one.
For head of the table next year at Mania.
They don't even need to do that. I think you got to put Jacob over Roman, though, is super important before Roman's done. Yeah. You got to do that. You have to put Jacob Fatu over Roman at some point. Because, again, I've been harping on this on my show and my live shows a bunch, that, guys, there's a lot of talent. Even Naomi was just in the media talking about, I'm 37 and I want to have like a bunch of kids and I don't got a lot of time left. So like, this is an important run to me and shit. You got to understand, a lot of these people, Becky, she's not here for a long ass time again. A lot of these people.
I said SummerSlam.
Yeah, dude. A lot of these folks are.
Oh! I just got a text.
Okay.
Mercedes Monet just texted me.
Oh God!
Look at that.
Oh my God! Did you pay the $200?
What's that?
Did you pay the $200 or the $99.99 or whatever?
The $99.99. I'm on a 5-day free trial.
$99.99. What did she text you, dude?
Sometimes in life, you got to be a hoe.
That's what she texted me.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what she texted me.